when I count three, go for your shooting irons. 1, 2, 3.
Fuzzy, you all right?
Of course I'm all right. Why?
Well, who are you shooting at?
Who's been shooting? You must have been dreaming. Hey, did you get that message off to Sam Mantell?
Yeah, he should have it by now. And if we're going to keep that midnight appointment, you better hurry up.
There's no hurry. He probably won't show up nohow.
He's got a score to settle with the Frontier Phantom for turning against the gang. He'll show up, all right.
But you're not the Phantom, Lash.
If my own dad couldn't tell the difference, I don't think Sam Mantell can. Now stop chipping your teeth together and let's get out of here.
Freeze! Right where you are. Bat an eyelash and I'll touch off this cannon.
Hey, Lash, don't breathe. Them's double-barrel shotguns. I don't mind being pickled, but I don't like to be peppered.
I didn't hear you boys knock. What's on your mind?
You're under arrest, Frontier.
Why?
You're a member of McCord's counterfeiting gang that Marshal LaRue broke up 4 days ago. You and Sam Mantell are still on the loose, and there's a nice fat reward.
Well, I'm glad to see that you boys are on your toes, but this is Marshal Lash LaRue.
Yeah, and I'm General Robert E. Lee.
Glad to meet you, General.
If you and Frontier ain't the same fella, I'll eat my hat.
Eat your hat? You better get some cream and sugar because it's going to be a little rough going down.
Come on, we're taking you to Sheriff Warren at Sawyer's Creek.
Oh, there's no need of that. The marshal will explain everything.
That's all right, Fuzzy. I'd rather explain it to the sheriff. Besides, we're heading for Sawyer's Creek.
Lee, get their hog legs. Come on your way.
Hey, Sheriff.
What do you want?
How about some water?
No. All right. I get any sleep around a place that's watered. Only time you wouldn't drink so much of that whiskey, you wouldn't have to have so much of this cooling stuff on your mind. I'm trying to get a little sleep. What?
How about some more?
Lie down and rest. You're tired. I know I am. Go to sleep. Thought I told you to go to sleep. Well, what have they been doing? Drinking? Well, you boys caught yourselves some big game. That's the Frontier Phantom or I'll eat my hat.
Some folks will eat anything around here.
Who are you?
Deputy Marshal Fuzzy Q. Jones. And as long as you're on the subject of something to eat, how about a nice old T-bone steak for us?
Where'd you bag him?
Hiding out in Mojave Joe's old shack.
If you'll let me get a word in edgeways, I'd like to explain.
That's kind of obvious, isn't it?
When you know the answers. My name is Lash LaRue, United States Marshal.
Might be funny, but I don't get the point.
You'll catch on.
Well, now, I'm always willing to cooperate with fair play, Marshal. So, if you just show me your credentials.
I happen to be working on an undercover mission to trap Sam Mantell.
Oh, I see, and you left your credentials at home.
I left them with the sheriff of Tularosa, where the gang was taken after capture.
I know about that capture, and I also know that the Frontier Phantom and Sam Mantell got away.
You're partly right. That's the story we wanted people to believe, so my plan would work.
What you don't know, Frontier was wounded and taken prisoner.
He's in the hospital at Tularosa, awaiting trial.
Oh, let's not waste time, Gavin. Lock him up, boys. I'm going home and turn in.
Sheriff, don't be a fool. Mantell is due in at midnight at the Birdcage Saloon. I was figuring on meeting him.
Just a minute. You mean to tell me that Mantell is due here in Sawyer's Creek?
That's right, for a showdown with the Frontier Phantom.
What do you mean, showdown?
Well, you see, the Phantom turned on the gang just before capture. And Mantell swore to get him. That's why I took the Phantom's place.
That's the part I don't believe. If you're not the Frontier Phantom, you look enough like him to be his twin brother.
I am his twin brother.
I've heard enough. Lock him up.
Just a minute, Sheriff. Mantell rides into town and you're in bed asleep. They'll laugh you out of office in a week.
If Mantell comes here, I'll get him.
Sleepwalking or just riding a nightmare?
All I want is a chance to meet him myself. He's due in at midnight. It's 11 o'clock now. That gives me an hour.
An hour for what?
To try and talk some sense into your thick skull.
That's pretty big talk for an outlaw.
Sheriff, what have you got to lose?
Well, all right, Frontier, I'll string along. Start talking, and it better be good. Oh, and before you do, Lee, run over to the railroad office and tell Sparky to come over here.
Oh, by the way, Lee, as long as you're on your way out, how about some coffee and sandwiches, huh?
Good idea.
This is the story of the capture of the McCord gang that was not published. Fuzzy and I were working out of Osage on a tip that McCord, Mantell, and the Frontier Phantom were holed up in the Teton Hills. My brother was McCord's bodyguard, though he didn't like the job. Both my brother and myself have always been pretty good shots.
Frontier.
Just saw the boss. He wants to see you, says it's important.
All right, Turk. Put that in the shack. I'll see you boys later.
Get going with the stuff. When you get to Lost Canyon, remember you're across the line. Don't take any chances. Hey!
How much you sending out this time?
20,000 to Curly Jinks. You'll get rid of it across the line.
Someday your luck's gonna run out, McCord, and nobody's gonna bother to pick up the pieces.
I'm paying you plenty to see that it don't run out, Frontier. And don't ever forget it.
The boy said you had something on your mind.
I got word this morning that a U.S. Marshal's trying to break our setup. They might try a little fancy stuff on that wagon. You better take a couple of the boys and follow.
You sure get your information fast. Did you know old man Evans and his daughter escaped this morning?
Oh, they won't get very far. We've got every exit to this place blocked.
I'd kind of like to see you give them a break. What do you plan on doing with them?
Well, when the old man finishes those $5 bill engravings, I intend giving him a break. A permanent break.
What about the girl?
And I got plans for her, too.
I'll get a couple of boys and be on my way.
That buckboard should be somewhere around here.
Dad, there it is.
Come on, we'll make a break for it.
Did you bring the money?
Yes.
Good, let's have it and get aboard. This place gives me the creeps. Look, it's old man Evans and his daughter. Jeff Thomas is helping them escape.
I can see. I got eyes. Then what are we waiting for? If we go after them now, they'll head for the rocks, and we'll never get them. We'll wait till they hit the open road.
You know, sometimes, Frontier, I think you're a little sweet on that girl, and you want them to escape.
I said we'd wait till they hit the open road.
All right, I was only kidding.
All right, we're going after them. Now remember, no killing.
Hey, there they are.
Say, them Jaspers must have got that buckboard mighty bad.
There's a girl in it, Fuzzy. Let's try to head him off. Got the driver. Those fellas mean business. The only way we can head them off is cut cross country. Questions. They'll be coming by any second. This should explain better than words.
Well, we thought you were the
Frontier Phantom. Nope. He's Lash LaRue, United States Marshal for all the Southwest Territory. And I'm his deputy, Fuzzy Q. Jones.
It didn't take long to learn from Evans that he had escaped from the same hideout that Fuzzy and I were looking for. I sent them to a nearby ranch where they'd be safe for a while. Then I rode back to lead the outlaws off the trail.
Well, they must be around here someplace.
Well, spread out and look for them. You see anything?
No, but I think I'll go up in those boulders. The old man and the girl may be hiding up there.
Looking for me?
Oh, it's you, Frontier. I thought you were the old man.
Well, that's 2 down and 1 to go.
It's Frontier. He must have figured something was up and he's getting away.
You know, that guy's slippier than a greased deal.
Tie these two up. Watch the buckboard. I'm going after Evans and his daughter. I'll be back. I checked on Evans and his daughter. They were safe at the ranch. But when I got back to the buckboard, Fuzzy had disappeared. Fuzzy! Fuzzy! Fuzzy, where are you? Dear Marshal, by the time you read this, your partner Fuzzy will be at Robber's Roost. Take my advice and forget him. Get out of this territory. I'd hate to see you end up with a bullet in your back. The Frontier Phantom.
Oh, they'll be here in a minute.
So, with Fuzzy being held prisoner, I had to hurry and get him out of there.
Yeah, kind of cramps the marshal's style when I'm not around.
We'll argue that point later.
Here's Sparky, Sheriff.
Make it snappy, Sheriff. There's no one under the key tonight but myself.
I want to send a message over to Tularosa. Let me see now.
Hey, how about those sandwiches and coffee?
It's on its way over.
Well, that's the way I like my coffee, when it's strong enough to walk over here by itself.
There is no F in Phantom.
How can I think with all this jabbering going on?
Oh, what are you going to use to think with?
I just want to send a message to the sheriff over in Tularosa to find out if the Frontier Phantom is wounded in a hospital over there. Got it?
Sure.
Well, then you make up the right words and tell him I want an answer right away.
I got you.
Oh, and Sparky, charge it to the mayor's office.
I got you, Sheriff.
You know, the mayor's always crabbing about my expenses being so high, so if I can run his up and keep mine down, Well, go on with your yarn. Time's running out.
But like I was saying, I went on over to the cabin where I left Evans and his daughter. And just as I got there... Hello? Where is everybody? Evans! friends ain't here. I sent him and his daughter for a little walk. Now, don't reach for a gun, Lash. I'd hate to have to kill my own brother. I've been hearing about your reputation as a marshal. I figured it was you who waylaid the boys when one of them said something about a whip. Still handy with it, huh? You haven't done so bad. Since one of our men shot Billy the Kid, you're the most wanted outlaw in the country. What happened to you? Last time I saw you, you were a bank teller in Wyoming. What are you doing in this territory anyway? Looking for you and Jim McCord? You see, I've been assigned to this case. Take my advice, kid. Get out while you're still healthy. McCord's playing for keeps. So is Uncle Sam. The law is moving west. It means to put an end to men like Jim McCord. You're talking through your hat, Lash. McCord's too smart for the law. Sooner or later, they all get it. Billy the Kid, Sam Bass, the Daltons, and one of these days, the Frontier Phantom. What do you say? Give yourself up and get off with a light sentence. Then you can live like a respectable citizen. It's not in the cards, Lash. Imagine me living to be a respected old man. That's the way Dad would have wanted it. Yeah, and what did it get him? He wound up with a bullet in his back for something he didn't do. Seems like only yesterday we were kids back in Wyoming. Dad was teaching you how to handle a 6-gun, remember? Stop preaching! I'm in too deep. McCord wouldn't let me quit anyway. I'm sorry you feel that way about it, because you leave me no other way out. I'm placing you under arrest. Don't be a fool, Lash. There ain't a man in the country that can outdraw me. Don't say I didn't warn you. Is that a threat? Just brotherly advice. Well, I guess we'll have to find out. All right, Lash. You win. Here's my hand to prove it. For a minute there, I thought he had me. Then I got in a lucky punch.
Got that answer back already?
No, this is from Sheriff Tileman across the state line. He said he thought he saw Sam Mantell and 2 of his gang headed this way and wanted to warn you. They got across the line before he could catch up with them.
Now maybe you'll believe me.
Well, I don't doubt the Sam Mantell part, but as for you being Frontier or the Marshal, I'm still taking that with a lot of salt.
Salt and pepper. That reminds me. How about them sandwiches?
Go ahead. Keep trying to convince me. We still got a half hour.
Well, it's like I said. I got a lucky punch in on my brother, and while he was lying there on the floor out cold, I got an idea. If I could change clothes with him, I could walk right up to McCord's gang without any trouble. And that's exactly what I did.
And he got into that hideout just in time. And those dirty crooks forced me into a gambling game, which is against my principles. Of course, I won a little bit of money. I guess it was just kind of beginner's luck.
I'll just hold this for safekeeping.
Thanks, boys. Hold it, you. Bring back that money before I blast you.
Shooting a man in the back is bad business. Now put away that gun. Put it away. You better go on about your work before you get in more trouble. Now, when you feel the urge for more gun practice, let me know.
What's come over you, Frontier? You don't act like the same person.
Shut up!
McCord's been looking for you. Set for you to see him as soon as you got in.
That hombre's looking for trouble. Someday I'm going to give it to him.
Hey, Frontier. I want to thank you for what you just did.
Forget the thanks, Buzzy. Tell me quick. Which one of those gents is McCord?
McCord? Well, he's that ornery-looking cuss that... Hey, what am I telling you for? You know him better than I do, unless you ain't the...
Frontier Phantom? You're right. We had a little argument and I won. So I borrowed his clothes. I don't like it, Fuzzy.
I don't either.
Those fellas are a little suspicious. Or they're up to something.
They're walking over to McCord now. He's that one with the coat on.
I'm going over there to see him. You go on about your work. I'll see you later on.
Where's Evans and the girl?
I had no way of getting them back. They were afoot.
Well, why didn't you take the boys?
The boys weren't much good after tangling with that Marshal. Besides, I wanted them to bring back the buckboard. You know, it wouldn't be too good if the law got a hold of all that counterfeit money.
Well, I'm glad to hear somebody around here uses a head. That was smart thinking. Say, it seems I'm out of cigars again. Let me have one of yours, Frontier.
Sorry. I'm fresh out.
Well, never mind. You better get some shut-eye and then go after Evans and the girl. I don't want nothing to happen to her.
What did I tell you, boss? That's Frontier. He's acting mighty peculiar. I never knew him to be without a cigar.
Well, if what you say is right about that Marshal looking like Frontier, he'll bear watching. We can't afford to let anything go wrong now.
What do you want us to do?
Keep an eye on him. When he goes after the girl, trail him. If he acts suspicious, finish him off.
figured them galoots would be up to something, so I hightailed it out here after you.
Thanks, Fuzzy. This one won't give us any more trouble. Say, how'd you get by the guard?
Oh, shucks, it wasn't hard. I just walked up there like I was delivering a message from McCord. And when I got close enough to him, I hypnotized him.
Now, Fuzzy.
Well, I did. Of course, I had to persuade him a little bit with this. And he went to sleep the prettiest you ever seen. Hey, what happened to that other one who was chasing you?
Well, I'm not sure, Fuzzy, but I think he's down there somewhere.
Yeah, that's him. And he's heading for the hideout. Let's cut him off.
It's too late, Fuzzy. He's got too good a start.
Oh, what are we gonna do?
You head for Bald Mountain. Send up a dust signal. Maybe the posse will see it. I've got a hunch we're gonna need help, and soon.
How about you?
I'm going back to Robber's Roost. I think the lid's gonna blow off, and I'd kind of like to be around when it does. My brother, meanwhile, was wearing my clothes and riding to help me.
Hey, hold everything, boys. Here's the victuals.
We'll just have time to eat and hear the rest of the yarn.
Oh, never mind the yarn. Let's eat.
Whether your story is true or not, it makes good listening. You shouldn't have any trouble passing the time in prison.
I won't spend any time in prison.
That's what they all say. Oh, never mind all this folderol, Susie. Just serve up the eatables and get.
You take care of your job, Sheriff, and I'll see to mine.
Well, let's get this food out of the basket before Mandel gets here.
Sam Mantell?
Well, now, don't tell me that a nice little girl like you knows him.
Not personally. Charlie McLeod was in the restaurant a while ago. Said he saw Mantell and 3 men camped down by the creek.
Getting warmer all the time, huh, Sheriff?
What makes Charlie so sure?
Oh, he said he saw the campfire and figured he'd sit a while and borrow the makings. But when he rode up, the Mantell fella shoved a Winchester in his face and told him to get. Charlie said he could see the red in the whites of his blue eyes. He was that close. I'll say when. All right, boys, have at it. Hey, you, mind your manners, one at a time. It's Sheriff. That'll be $150, please.
Charge it to the mayor.
I run my business on a cash and carry basis. $150 now, or I put the due bill in the front window come election time.
Susie, tell my wife to come down here and bail me out of this fire trap, will you?
Well, I'll tell her, but I doubt if she can make it. Your mother-in-law's visiting over at the house.
My mother-in-law? Sheriff, promise me. Please don't turn me out of here. Please, promise.
I know what you mean, boy. Go on with your story. At least it'll take my mind off of my troubles.
Well, let's see. I rode back into the stronghold, and just about that time...
Frontier. Thought I told you to go after Evans and the girl.
I figured you sent Buck and Turk. You know, somebody should have taught them to do a better job on their back trailing.
Why, hold it, Turk. Now start walking towards that door, Marshal.
Marshal, what's the idea, McCord?
The boys and I thought you were acting pretty strange. When Turk here said he saw you snake Buck off a horse with a bullwhip, I started to figuring out a few things.
Like what, for instance?
Like whether you're the Frontier Phantom or a U.S. Marshal.
Hold it.
I wouldn't try that. Look around you. You're covered. You haven't got a chance, Marshal. We're in this thing too deep to allow you to interfere.
You know, I've been waiting a long time to get your brother, the Frontier Phantom. Seeing as how you've got his clothes on, you'll do just as well.
The next one's got your name on it, McCord. You gents elevate your hands.
You're in this as deep as we are, Frontier.
You gents line up in a nice, neat row. I'm taking you back to stand trial.
If you take us in, you're also putting a noose around your own brother's neck. What about that, Frontier?
Shut up and do what he tells you to do. The deal is set. I'm betting my chips on Lash. Now line up and do what he told you. Or I'll let daylight through the first one of you who looks like he won't.
Hey, man, look over there. That's Fuzzy giving us a dust signal.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Come on, kid.
Frontier over the top of that building before he gets the rest of us. Fighting those two brothers is like tingling with the U.S. Army. Get going around back of that building. You can get him from there. Marshal should be about out of ammunition. You see that old log over there? Let's get it and batter that door down.
going to be a little short-handed for a while, Marshal. Your deputy, Cal Saunders, is inside.
Cal Saunders?
Yes. It seems he was working for McCord. Take a look at my brother, Fuzzy, see if he's all right. I'm going after McCord. Here's your coffee, buddy.
Thanks a lot.
Well, we got every one of them except Sam Mantell and a couple of the boys who were away at the time. I think probably the two that are with Sam now are the ones we're looking for.
I hope you're right, mister. But I still don't know. I'd hate to take a chance without proof from Tularosa.
If we wait for that, we'll lose Mantell. That's one appointment I don't aim to miss.
Looks like you're going to have to.
Look, suppose I am the Frontier Phantom, and I shoot it out with Sam Mantell. That's one less outlaw you have to worry about. Put your men around the Birdcage Saloon and shoot the first one of us who makes a break. What have you got to lose?
Hey, the sheriff in the country wouldn't eat his badge for a chance like that.
Fighting fire with fire is not a bad idea.
You haven't got a thing to lose.
All right, fella, you've got yourself a deal. Let's start permeating over to the Birdcage.
Good luck, mister.
Thanks.
Remember, me and my boys will have that saloon covered from end to end. If you get Mantell, stay put, because if you try to make a break for it, we'll blast you.
What about Mantell?
He doesn't know it, but the same goes for him.
All right, now, what about a gun?
You'll get a gun when the time comes.
Hey, keep that beanery open. I'll be over in about 15 minutes.
Sure, come on over. My husband's a cook. He makes terrific hash. Might even make hash out of you.
I don't like hash.
I'll have the usual, Si.
Your usual nightcap, huh?
Good night.
Good night. See you in the morning.
You two watch this door.
All right, Sheriff, what's on your mind?
I've got a little announcement to make. There's going to be a game of showdown draw here in about 5 minutes. Now, men, these 2 gents and 3 more what's expected are all holding pat hands, 6 of a kind. Now, you boys know what I mean. I advise you all to get out, because after these other 3 gents arrive, we're going to shoot the first bird that tries to leave before I give the word. All right, make up your minds. Are you going to leave or are you going to stay? That doesn't go for you. And no tricks. My boys will be outside with shotguns, and I'll be watching. I'm still not convinced, but anyway, good luck.
Thanks, Sheriff.
What's your pleasure, gentlemen?
Nothing for me, thanks.
I'll take some of that,
Sarsaparilla.
yeah, and put something in it to kind of quiet my nerves.
Just plain sarsaparilla. Could I see that?
What, this? Sure.
That's an odd thing to have hanging behind the bar. I wonder...
What were you going to say?
Never mind. Hang it back up there.
Yeah, sure.
It's just about that time. Right on time, Sam.
Kind of an urgent message, Frontier. What do you want to see me about?
First of all, I'd better clear up one point. I'm not Frontier.
Gone over to the law, is that it?
My name's Lash LaRue, United States Marshal. You're under arrest.
As far as I'm concerned, it's still Frontier. And I'm here because I don't like rats that turn on me.
Speaking of rats, you're in a trap right now. Look around you. Why do you think the place is empty?
It's late.
Not that late, except for you. The sheriff's got the place surrounded. Even if you get me, you'll never get to your horse alive.
I'd like to call that bluff.
Go ahead.
Bartender, take off that white apron and step out the door.
Oh, no. No, not me, please, mister. I've got nothing to do with this fight.
Maybe you're not bluffing.
Hold it. Now get their guns, Fuzzy.
Come, Frontier, or I'll drill this man and then you. Now I'm calling that bluff. You and this jet are going out that door fast. If you're bluffing, we're coming after you. Either way, you're a cinch to get it. Now start moving.
Come on in, Sheriff. It's all over.
How about some lights, Si? Well, looks like you got him. Put the bracelets on him, Matt. And put the cuffs on these two, Lee.
Now, just a minute, Sheriff.
Here it is, Sheriff. This is what you've been waiting for. Just came in.
Never mind the cuffs, Lee. This is Marshal LaRue.
Now he tells us.
Sorry, Marshal. How about a drink? You can come in now, boys.
Hey, give me the four fingers and the
Fuzzy?
strongest...
Fuzzy,
sarsaparilla.
I'll have the same.
Whiskey for me and Sparky. This one's on me.
Hey, why bother with that, Sheriff? Why don't you just put it on the mayor's account like you always do?
Oh, you're the one. Well, I've been wondering who it was.
Now, Si.
Why, you have got...
Now, Si.
You think...
I can explain, officer. Si, we're friends. We
Si!
Get out of here. Hey, Sheriff, how about my drink?
Hey, what's eating that bartender?
Fuzzy, the bartender, is the mayor.